Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah. So I'ma get pause overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
people. I don't know why my volume is going out. That last video, this intro video that we were on, this one, I can't hear on my end. This one, I had to reset. I had to reset my volume just to hear that one, and I get down to the third one, and I couldn't hear it again. The system's going crazy. I don't know what's going on with my system, but I know it's going to cost a lot of money to fix it if we're going to continue to roll through, OBS. I've got to get something. Anyways, neither here nor there. We've got a huge lineup today that we are going to go over. We've got two main stories today. Okay, guys, we have a breaking news case coming out, and it's not related to the dentist or his wife. It's about a 12-year-old child that disappeared from Oklahoma under mysterious circumstances, and his name is Ryan R.J. Davis. And I did a lot of work on this morning. We've set up 2 new Facebook groups. So if you guys are all here, I'd like you guys to learn a little more about this 11-year-old child. I'll show you a photo of him right now. There he is. There's his missing person flyer. And there's his face right there. We're going to be going over him in probably in the second half of this show. We've got a couple of stories I don't know if it's something that you guys would be interested in. We're going to go through them fairly quickly here. But one is the protesters in Iran. This is not really anything that you guys will need to know a whole lot about, but I think it's something that we need as a country to be monitoring at the very minimum. So we've had conflicts going on, and of course, many of you guys know we went into Venezuela and got their criminal president. I don't even know if I want to call him the president because he pretty much stole the election, and he was a dictator that was oppressing his people, and he was on our watch list. Like, we literally had a warrant for his arrest for several years, and the Obama administration actually put a reward of $25 million on his head to bring him over here, and then he antagonizes our president, President Trump, and of course we go kick in his front door and bring him back to the United States of America to, deal with his crimes, due process. Well, one of those caveats is Iran. Iran is an ally with Venezuela, and there has been some eruption going on in Iran. And Donald Trump kind of stepped in there and said, let the protesters protest. Otherwise, we, the American people, if we find out you're hurting these protesters that are against your regime, we're going to go in there and we're going to force you to let the protesters speak, right? So what we're finding out today is that the Iranian government has basically cut them off. So there's no outside communication right now going on, and it's making me very concerned about what they are doing to the protesters. I mean, there was a lot of protesting in the street in Tehran, and it was all over the news. I know it's not news that you guys are watching, but we do need to watch because there are people that they don't want this third world country anymore. They don't want to be mean. They don't want to be blowing people up. They want to live in peace and harmony, and their government will not let them. So they're taking to the streets, and we welcome that. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if people are losing their life right now because of it. But I think we need to pray over Iran because there is definitely something going on over there. Again, not a very hip topic, right? But it does have to do with people. It does have to do with, innocent people, bloodshed, right? Even people that we were told that hate us and stuff like that. Those people marching in the street sounds like they want change. It sounds like they don't want to be fighting with the rest of the world. They're tired of it. They're tired of not having anything. They're tired of being oppressed and living in poverty because their government's taking everything from them. So just pray for them as they're going through this. Again, it sounds like the communication has gone dark in Iran, and I'm very, very concerned for the beautiful men and women and children that stood up and are trying to make sure changes. One thing that people don't realize that it's easy to get into socialism and it's easy to get into communism. But one of the biggest problems is getting out of it. And once you invite it in, it takes war and ed to liberate yourself from that depression. That's why we're so adamant about depression. Make to the unity. I'm working around it. We've got a lot to cover. We have this running vertical chat just to let you know. It's really bogged down my system to the point that I think I've ruined the computer. So we're going to have to get some different equipment into this office. I've got to have a standalone encoder hooked up to my machine. I think I'm going to try that to see if it'll alleviate the laptop enough that we can at least function and do this. There's just my laptop is a 2017. It's almost 10 years old. I can't, if we're going to be spending money, I can't afford to buy another laptop. Another MacBook Pro. I don't like Macs. I don't like iPhones. I don't need that crap. I want Windows. I want to go back to Android products. I better when they're much cheaper, and we won't have all these. Okay, so I just got away from this MacBook shit. Okay, I gotta ditch Apple. I recommend ditching Apple. I don't know how you guys got sucked into the biggest con in the world, these Apple phones. Everything you do, Apple functions the shit out of you. And for people holding a $12 or $1,000 iPhone, complaining about not having money, and that you guys are all probably spending $100 a month subscriptions. Okay, that is easy. You get most of these things on Android for free, folks, for free. And you want an Apple phone because they give it to you for free at Verizon or whatever. Yeah, we're going to be buffering. It's a really singer. This thing. Anyways, let me do this. This is email. This is a with Key. So Google changed for us. I'm really sorry. This cybersecurity link right here is those links that has a thing about access. So for once you pay, I'm not Forbes. I don't care for Forbes. I hate Forbes. This is so long time your email. The advanced setting of the Gmail of the resources that they have Gmail Pro. Only a few. Okay. All right, I gotta take it off. I'm sorry. I'll tell it just stops buffering. Let me know when it stops buffering, and we'll get started again. If anybody wants to donate for equipment in the office, more than welcome to. Hey guys, we're trying to get everything up now. Hopefully everything's still working, but it's probably not, so I'm probably going to have to set everything up. So just work with me here while I try to get everything back up and running. We're going to have to set some parameters here because, make sure this is working. Because when our system is going down, I need one person telling me. I don't need 15 because it stresses me out back here because we're already having problems. We're already having technical issues. It's why I'm ditching the vertical chat. And when everybody is reaching out to me by phone, reaching out to me by email, screaming in the chat, it further puts anxiety on me to get things done. And instead of just waiting for the buffering to end, it forces me to shut down my entire system, which takes 20 minutes to reboot. Okay. I'm getting to the point where we may just do videos on this show from here on out. I don't need to be on here on a daily basis doing a show. And it's getting to the point where I am getting so frustrated that I can never get anything just to work. We've tried StreamYard, Blurry, everything. I've tried doing this. It worked out great for a while. Now my computer's failing on me because when I'm on here on these 3 hours, it's just killing the system. Okay. And we're talking about $5,000 worth of equipment that needs to come into this room right here. Okay. I need encoders. I need if we're going to have a real live produced show. I mean, we can do it from a phone. Okay. I don't need the hassle of doing it all pretty like this and bringing a whole bunch of content on. But I'm telling you to the point that I am today, I don't even want to do this setup anymore. Okay. It's starting to bog me down. It's starting to frustrate the piss out of me. And I never know what day I'm going to really get a good show and what day I'm not going to get a good show. And what day am I going to get stressed out and what day am I not going to get stressed out? Like today, I've been up since 3:30 working my ass off. Then I come here to bring the information on breaking news cases that I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning to work on to make sure I bring to you. And then we're dealing with, once again, failing systems. Not failing work, failing systems, okay? So it's up to you guys. This is a sponsored channel. This is a viewer-sponsored channel. So if I'm not making enough money to buy equipment, guess what? We're not going to be able to go live. It's just that simple. So if you guys would like to donate to this channel, please do. If you don't, then this is what we're going to have to deal with, okay? Until I can pony up the money and bring equipment at $5,000 on top of the court stuff that I had to pay for, that I'm still paying for. So something's got to give here. Either we're just going to have to work the way we're working, or you guys are going to have to start ponying up some stuff so we can get some equipment here. I don't know what else to say, okay? I can't do it all on my own. So I'll do the research. I'll do the research and I'll produce when I can. But if we go down, we go down. That's just all there is to it. There's nothing I can do about it, okay? We're to the point where I've bought a lot of stuff. Lots of cameras, lots of lighting, lots of desktop or, extra screens, all this equipment in this room, all this stuff, right? So we're at a point where you guys are seeing the struggles I'm having with my live stream, okay? This obviously can't continue to go on if we're going to have a produced live stream. So we're going to have two choices here. We're going to have to start raising money for equipment, or I'm going to convert to my phone and relieve my life of the stress of doing a produced show. I'll let you guys decide. All right, guys, so let's get back to wherever we're at. It seems like it was Forbes and all of their advertisements that throttled the system to the point that it crashed. I'm not going to bring it back up because the story wasn't that important. I was just trying to tell you guys you have new features in your Gmail, okay? Clearly, it wasn't that important for my whole entire show to go down this morning to give you guys that little bit of information, but by God, that's what had to happen this morning. So let's just keep moving. And we're just going to be tick, tick, ticking because everything had to be pulled up. So everything is so far off base right now. Now, I'll try to pull this up. Will it work? Will it not work? I really don't know. And quite frankly, I'm getting to the point where I really don't care. Okay, as you guys can see, my week has just really changed itself, hasn't it? All right, we were covering the case of 4-year-old Jonathan Boley. This is the father that had all of the explosive devices in and around his home. And the family dog, as well as the child, disappeared. They ultimately found this child, and they ultimately found this child in a ravine. He was deceased, and the dog did not leave his side. They are making sure that the father did not do this to the child. The father is in jail for chemical endangerment of his son because of the explosive devices. They were, he's arrested for having the explosive devices. And we didn't learn until just recently, until this post came up, that we have a lady by the name of Kaylee Boley. And I don't know why I have Abby Blabby on here instead of the right. I have the okay, yeah. I had the actual Kaylee up here. Let me find my piece of paper. This is going to irritate the crap out of me. So cancel. We'll cancel this. This is RJ Boley. Anyways, I'll just read this to you. I don't have time to find it. And quite frankly, like I said, my morning is already really going into the shitter, and it's going into the shitter quick. So maybe this won't be a 3-hour live because I'm already up to my eyeballs with the bullshit. Firstly, I want to say my testimony should not be drawn away from the attentions and prayers that should be directed toward Jonathan Boley. I recently made some comments under a post about people showing empathy for Kyle, and I got upset. Someone took it upon themselves to create a post about it, so I decided to make it a personal statement myself. My name is Kaylee Cherie Boley. Jameson Kyle Jamison Kyle. Sounds like Kyle is what he goes by instead of Jamison. Jamison Kyle Boley is my father and my abuser. I started seeing him when I was 6 years old, and my earliest memory of abuse was about 8 years old, although I believe it started earlier. I had a ballet recital one night, and Kyle was supposed to pick me up from my mother's to take me out to dinner and then drop me back off. I had to change into my normal clothes, and my mother brought me a dress and had forgotten to pack my underwear. As soon as I can imagine, I freaked out and said I couldn't go without them. Of course, I did not tell my mother this, but I was scared he would try and whatever at dinner, and that was one less layer to go, whatever. It sounds like she's saying some essay type allegations about her dad. And before you ask, yes, that is something I thought about even as a child because I had to. Sadly, even though M or SA continued every time I was at his house, I was convinced, me being a stupid child, that if I let him continue to do it to me, he would not do it to my younger sisters. The SA was not only terrible things that he did to me. He enjoyed making homemade bombs, torturing animals in his free time, and he had dragged me outside with my brother, Matt, one time and gave me a big rock and told me to bludgeon a bat. I started to cry and told him I couldn't. Well, he ultimately did that. I got to be careful with some of the stuff here. Okay, so this is photos, not the actual, oops. He enjoyed watching terrible things on YouTubes like dogs and other animals fighting, having sex, and young kissing and fighting. When I was finally 12, I had gotten my first female, Mother Nature. Immediately knew my father was going to be upset. I had to go to his house that weekend and blah, 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 blah. So you kind of see where this is all going. I got thrown out of the grand jury because our eyewitness, someone who actually saw Kyle doing these things to me, was partially deaf and apparently made her unreliable. So, and after I was denied justice, I tried to let it go as best I could. I had night terrors for years after my mother was genuinely scared for her life because of how crazy he is. And honestly, I'm scared but not telling my truth for Jonathan, even now, but I'm telling my truth for Jonathan, because I know he was brave in those woods. I know it because a child of Kyle you have to be, or he'll hurt you and make you strong because he hates weakness. I have spent my life being ashamed, disgusted, and embarrassed, all emotions he should be feeling, but no, they have been heavy on me and my heart. I don't want pity or praise because I'm so brave or something like that. Like I said, I don't feel brave. I feel a turning in my stomach when I talk about these things, even 10 years later. So I'm not going to really go into too much. Oops, excuse me, you guys couldn't read that. I'm not going to go into too much related to this, but clearly he has older daughters. She's much older too. Do we have a photo of her? That looks like his mother, Kim Smith, which, moms know all, whether they're honest or not. That's a different story. There she is, right there. And this is Kylie Boley. This is his, and she looks much older than this now. This is probably one of the younger photos that I saw of her, but it's the photo that everybody's passing around. I think there's other photos that depict her in more natural. She looks a lot different, in my opinion, than she does in this photo. And we are back to buffering again, folks. We are back to buffering again. So please, stay tuned. There's not a whole lot I can do at this point until we get past all of this stuff. That was all the stuff that I had that should have been lagging down the system. Let me see if I got things going over here. Oh, I'm running behind. Hold on a second. I think this is the reason right here. Sorry. It should be going away in just a second. It's saying poor connection. Give it just a second. I just realized we had a lot of stuff running. I'm refreshing something, so it's going to give us just a slight hiccup while it's refreshing, and then we should be hopefully good to go. I got YouTube, I got Facebook. Facebook bogs down the stuff, and the publications bog down our system. But it's showing excellent right now, so it looks like we might be out of it, out of the buffering. If I can just get it to show up on the frickin' screen, it's driving me nuts. There it is. That's what I needed to do. I needed to pause it because we got some stuff going on here. Okay, there you go. You're in, but everything is fine on my end. Perfect. I love that. I'm just worried because, again, we've had nothing but problems this morning, and it stresses me out. And it just popped up again. I can't keep, I don't know what's wrong with this. My system's like, my computer is just very, very hot, okay? So this is overtaxing my computer, and I don't know what else to do. So the only thing I can do is stop running the vertical. That's all I do. But back in an error, I don't know what this is going to mean or how this is going to affect us, but I can't think about it. I got to keep moving through here. So we do have a case. Let me get back up here. We do have a case of a 12-year-old boy, and his name is Ryan R.J. Davis, and this is a very highly disturbing case. I don't know why it hasn't stopped. It's still showing errors on my end. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. So I don't know what's causing it. Clearly something is causing you guys to have a buffer, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's out of my control. I'm not shutting the system down. If you guys can't hear me this time, I'm shutting the show down. I will record everything and put it up as a video. I'm done with the live streaming if I can't get a good live stream. Okay, I'm over it. I really am. I don't know what else to say. I'm not going back to StreamYard. StreamYard has a horrible view. The image comes in like shit. So I'm not going back to StreamYard, and I'm not paying 50 or $60 or $80 a month. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. So that's just all there is to it. I don't know how much of this you guys are hearing, but clearly it's saying that you guys are buffering on your end, and I'm not going to do anything to fix it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this case just a little bit. Let me go ahead and as I'm getting into this case, we still have a lot of Facebooks up, so that probably has a lot to do with it. And I'm having to wait for all of this stuff to come up one by one because we had to shut the computer down. So that's probably what's bogging the system down, is that everything was pulled up this morning, so there was no thinking about what needed to be pulled up. And now everything I've got to go through here, like everything is just, I'll just put it up here. It's going to bog the system down, so please stay here. But here's what I'm dealing with. Oh, it finally came up. But let me just go to the next one. Okay.
Chickashay. Thank you so much.
Chickashay. I don't know what was on this one, but obviously there was something important on this too. Let me go ahead and get this playing. This was already playing, so you guys are going to have to hear. I get all these publications off my system, otherwise they're going to stop bogging the system down. So let's just go ahead and get these. I'm not going to do any more publications. Hopefully keep us. I don't think this, obviously.
And R.J. Davis, now KSU Ryan is in Caddo County right now with the very latest Jordan news coming in. What is the update?
Yeah, it was early this morning, late last night, but the parents were booked. Stepfather George Cole, he was booked around 12 a.m. this morning. Meanwhile, the mother was around 10 p.m. last night. OSB actually got in this case yesterday. They're calling the disappearance suspicious. Earlier this morning, I spoke with someone from the agency. They tell me parents get child abuse complaints, and they are related to the missing boy. KOCO actually spoke with parents yesterday. Here's what they told us when we talked to them. They were pleading for people to help locate their son.
I want to thank everybody that has helped, and anyone wants to continue to help is needed and wanted. And we just want something back home. We want it back.
Ryan Davis was reportedly last seen January 2nd near the Quality Inn at 4th Street East Grand Avenue.
That has changed. He actually was last seen, and I've got a breakdown of this. We're going to go through this file because, again, this is a new case. This young boy is missing under mysterious circumstances. He's been gone for over 5 days. We're very, very concerned about his health and well-being. He was SA'd. He was abused. His mom and his stepfather, that George Cole, is in jail right now for those charges, and that was based upon evidence gathering and other stuff. So let me just explain this case to you if I can. Give me a second because I don't have my paperwork because I had to shut down my system, so it took everything with it. So you're going to have to give me just a second to pull this stuff up. And of course I grabbed the wrong one. That's not breaking this case down for me. That's great. And this one isn't either. So, what I found out is that this child, I'm still very unclear on how this child was reported missing. I don't know if his mom reported him missing or if the schools reported him missing. That aspect is very unclear. I've looked at a lot of different things. Maybe somebody has found the clip that tells them how this child was found or reported missing. But from what I hear is that this child ran away once before and the mother and the father had found him fairly quickly. The mother and the stepfather found him fairly quickly and brought him home. Well, this time he took off, and it's very upsetting for me because I am learning that it is possible that he was seen at a hotel. Why am I concerned about this hotel? It's because I've noticed that the mom and stepfather appear to look like they're drug addicts. And we're hearing claims of SA, them being charged with SA type of abuse allegations to him and him not being there and him being observed at a hotel. And it sounds like he was at a hotel from about 11:30 on the 2nd, and he was last seen around 1 a.m. on the 3rd. So he was there for over 24 hours. Now, where he has been or where he has gone from here, I don't know. He does not have an Amber Alert. They are using the alerts that they do have available for him, but he has been gone for 5 days. I don't know the circumstances for the reason why they are concerned. I mean, they are concerned because he's 12 years old and he's observed at a hotel. And my first question is he staying with someone at that hotel? And if so, who would that be? Or is he staying in some place? He's been found, Betty? When has he been found? Because we had a lot of problems. I researched this literally all morning. Let me find this. He must have just been found because he wasn't found as of this morning before all of our stuff happened. Hold on, common sense. Let me see. I hope he's good. I hope he's safe. They were, because the biggest plea to the boy, they didn't believe he was deceased. They believed that he needed to. They wanted to make sure he knew he was never going back to his mom's house. So where did you see that? I'm not seeing any news on that yet. Common sense. Hold on, let me plug his name into X real quick. Hey, DeBoss, it's nice to see you. Of course, we get a crazy lady. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the lady right there. If you guys want to know who this person is right here, that's the lady that was shot. They're trying to say she was just an innocent mom. No, she wasn't. She sent her own children to a social warrior psych op school that was in Minnesota. These people were trash, pure trash. I feel bad anybody would lose their life or choose not to be a mother and choose to go out there and get themselves shot for being hateful and evil. But that's who she was. There she is. She's very happy to be out there and be nasty. And look how crazy she looks. Oh, but she's this innocent little girl that was just trying to, just not doing anything. Okay, he's at a hospital. All right, let me, can you send me something on that? I'd just like to put it up here on chat. Because everything takes so damn long, because when I put anything up here, it takes forever because my system is bogged down right now. I'm stressed out. Okay. I've got right here. I don't know common sense. Where are you finding that? Because here it is, just 23 minutes ago, and they're saying missing children community is still missing from Oklahoma. Parents are facing child abuse. Can you send me that, please? I'm not seeing it. Where are you getting that from? I'm on X and they're saying no, unless I'm missing something, which oh my God. Thank you, Gwen. It looks like we're getting our encoder. Thank you. God bless you. Good gracious. God bless you. I'll order that. I'll literally order that encoder as soon as we're done with today, off of here. I appreciate it. God bless you for that. It really will help this show. I'm so stressed out. It's not even funny. Common sense praying he's okay. He's in the hospital. Can somebody help me find this? Because it's making, never mind. I'll research on my phone. It's making it hard for me to research on the computer because it takes freaking forever for it to think because it's just bogged down. My computer is literally like, it's, I could cook an egg on it right now. I'm surprised it hasn't started shutting stuff down on me because it's so hot. And I don't understand why. So let me see. Ryan Davis found, Oklahoma. Okay. Urgent for missing. It's on Rock Chalk's channel. Yeah, but I don't know where she's getting it. Okay. It's going to take a while. I don't know why it's lagging this bad. It's just I can't even get anything to work on this fucking computer. I'm at my wit's end, so just bear with me, folks, before I just end all of this. Sleuth mom, parents arrested. Okay, we see that. We know that parents are arrested. Where is Rock Chalk? Yeah, I'm on her channel right now, but I don't see anything on here about it. So I'm going to try to go over here. I don't know where it's being found. I'm on Rock Chalk's channel right now, and it's saying 4 hours ago we're going to go live around 1. There's nothing of him being in the hospital. Comment, I don't know where you're getting that, but I think that's inaccurate. I'm not seeing anything on Rock Chalk's channel about this young boy. I don't even see a story on here about this young boy. But it's okay. It's okay. It's not a big deal. I just wanted to make sure we weren't off. I don't think he's found because I'm right here on and 27 minutes ago, they say missing child community. Ryan J. Davis is still missing. Parents are facing charges of abuse. Let me just, I think if they took it down, then it's probably because she may have had the wrong person or somebody might have trolled her. You got to remember that there's a lot of trolls on these platforms and they do everything they can to bog down your system. So yeah, I don't think he's been found. Yeah, he's not been found, folks. He's not been found. It's okay. I mean, I'm glad you told me because if somebody thought that he was found, we may have stopped looking for him. But we've heard from the parents in this matter. Cato County Sheriff seems to be the one that has this case. And then Grady County Sheriff is also involved in this case for some reason. I believe the hotel's in their district. But where this child disappeared from is in ours. So as we're going through this, we're still getting hit with buffering, but I don't care at this point. I'm just trying to get through the show. Here is our new Facebook group for the disappearance of Ryan R.J. Davis. So if you know the family or anybody else, or you know any information about this, or you come across an article, this will be the clearinghouse here for all that information. So if you're, but the best part, I pray he's alive, and Law says he will not go back. Yeah, that was a very good point that I was trying to make before some things started getting haywire on the show this morning. But I feel like I'm so confused about this because I feel like he may have walked off or ran away, but I don't think that's the case here. I feel like, why the hotel? Why is he at the hotel at 11 o'clock at night? Why is he at the hotel at 1 o'clock in the morning? Why is he being seen at these times from the hotel? I'm very, very, very concerned because it sounds like, especially with the SA charges, I mean, were they SAing him or were they selling him? I mean, that's really, or making selling. You guys get what I'm trying to say. Why around this hotel? And why are these charges being charged to the parents? We saw the video of the parents being out. And if you guys haven't, let me see if I can pull it up here. It's going to take a second and probably bog down my system, but at this point, what difference does it make? That's the way I look at it at this point. Video capture device. No, we got a video source. And this is mom and dad's interview. Mom and stepdad SD interview. Give me a second. Let me see if I can get this pulled up. I think it's this one. I think this is the one that had the parents in it. Yeah. Okay, let me get this advanced property. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. It doesn't look like you can. I can't hear it. Yeah, nobody's hearing this. I don't know what the hell's wrong with this. You guys don't even see it. Okay. Huh. Settings? Audio track? Maybe that's what it is. It's not up. Why is this off? It's not even blue. Okay. Well, nothing's working for me this morning, folks. So let me just go ahead and delete that. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why we're having such a problem this morning, but we are. And I don't know if I have a whole lot of videos to show you because everything's screwing up on me. I literally have nothing up here to show you. So I guess we'll go back to this one. I do have these videos in here. I just don't.
Not been found. We're still receiving several tips. We're still following up on those tips, but the boy has not been found. We do believe that he is still alive.
Here.
The public information manager.
The audio boosted. Sorry, I'm like trying to look around the camera at stuff.
I know. No, the video was muted. That's why I'm like I said, today's clearly the system's no longer working for us. So my computer's shot. Okay, folks. We've burnt my laptop
working
up.
on this in a collaborative effort to locate this 12-year-old boy. What I can tell you is the latest we have is that we are still searching for him at this time. He has not been found. We are still receiving several tips. We are still following up on those tips, but the boy has not been found. We do believe that he is still alive at this time, and so we're doing everything we can to locate him. The other update we have, since we had last spoke.
Before we go any further, I'm absolutely guys. You guys are on the vertical chat. You guys are over now. Okay, I'm in my vertical chat right now. I'm done with vertical. It's on the vertical. We're not doing vertical chat anymore. So there you have it. I'm done with my limit of bullshit thing. And we're going to horizontal. If you guys don't want to come over horizontal, by all means don't. But I'm tired, and I'm tired of the errors from YouTube. Okay, as you guys can see, my gift today is busted. It's absolutely busted. I had 3 chats going, 3 chats that were extended out. So let me fix the chats. Okay. Hopefully this improves. If it doesn't improve, I don't really care. I don't care. I don't care, folks. I'm sorry. I just don't care at this point. We'll do another live this afternoon that will, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I may go straight YouTube. I'm getting over this whole live streaming. I will tell you. We may just go straight to videos. I'm done. You guys I may start doing videos, hour lives, and just throw them up here, and you guys can come and dissect them and do whatever you need to do with them. But if we can't get this live streaming under control, I'm not doing them anymore. I'll just let you guys know right like that. I don't need to be doing them. I don't have to do them as part of my stuff. It's nice to be here and be live with you and talk to you guys, but I'm frustrated.
Yesterday is that as this investigation continued, the OSBI made contact with the 12-year-old boy's parents, that is his biological mother and his stepfather. During the conversation with them, it was learned that there was apparent harm done to this child while he was living with these 2 parents. Based on everything that we were able to gather, based on search warrants that we conducted, and that's multi-jurisdictional agencies.
I want to let you guys know, if this child was in the state of Florida, both of these parents would be, especially with the SA allegations and him being 12 years old, they would be both facing the death penalty in the state of Florida. The death penalty in the state of Florida. Now, I don't know if Oklahoma has the laws that Florida has. I pray to God that they do. I pray to God that the assailants, the parents, are thrown in jail for a very, very long time. If we find out that this man was SAing this boy, this boy's 12 years old. This man's 43 years old. 43 years old. Chemical castration is not good enough for a man like that, if this is true. And if what I think is true and what I think happened, and why this child was at a hotel, I tell you what, that's not even the kindest. That's not even the best way. I can't. This poor boy's life is over.
That were involved in those, we came to the conclusion that both parents were arrested on child abuse complaints, multiple child abuse complaints as we move forward with this investigation. And so those two parents, as of late last night, were booked into the Caddo County Jail, where they will be at this time. Official charges, of course, will go through the District 6 District Attorney's Office as we move forward with that. What I can say from the OSBI standpoint is when the Chickasha Police Department requested us to look into this case, not only was it important for us to locate this child safely, but we also needed to look into the entire aspect of this case and find out why is this child missing from the very beginning for multiple days, what's going on.
One thing that they're not telling you is this child ran away earlier on, and according to a post from his mother, he was found fairly quickly after he disappeared, and it makes me wonder, was that when they first hurt him? I don't know, but it doesn't, she's married to this guy. Okay. And why they call him Riker Cole, I don't know. So his name is Ryan R.J. Davis, yet he's also known as Riker Cole. Riker Cole. What 12-year-old needs two different names? It doesn't make any sense. You know what it makes sense to? It makes sense that this mommy made him call that a-hole daddy. That's what it makes. That's the only sense it makes. Because why would you give a boy that does not belong to this man his last name? Right? They called him Riker Cole. Why? Why was his name disguised? It makes you wonder, is that what they told people to call them when they were ordering the Quality Inn? And not only that, but let me ask you this. If he was over at the Quality Inn, you would think that somebody, if they saw a 12-year-old child walking alone or being alone in an area or coming out of woods or bushes, that they would instinctually be curious to find out to make sure that child's okay, that child hasn't been abandoned, that something bad hasn't happened to that child, wouldn't you? I mean, I would think that if I saw a young child by himself during a time when he shouldn't be by himself, I would think that, no, there's no adoption. No. Otherwise, he would have taken his full last name and not been R.J. Davis. So his lawful legal name that law enforcement is telling us is that his name is Ryan R.J. Davis. He also goes by a.k.a. Riker Cole. Now, Cole is the last name of mommy and stepdaddy. I don't know where Riker came from, but at the end of the day, it's still the stepfather's last name when he's not adopted. And again, probably forced to call him daddy. Okay, I have problems with that. I got huge problems with that. So it is possible mom's oldest was adopted by her first. My half-sister is a nightmare. Wow. Don't hold back. Don't hold back.
And what's going on with his home life, as well as we kind of dig deep and find out a little bit more into what has caused this. And based on those findings, it was important for us to talk to his parents, find out a little bit more about what was going on at home during that time. And as we looked into it, making sure that when this child is safe, that he stays safe and that he goes home to a safe environment moving forward was very important for us. And it was deemed that it was not a safe environment.
So I think what we are learning here is that this young man, they believe he ran away from home. I'm praying to God that's what they believe. Okay? I mean, again, they're being so you can't even make heads or tails. The only people that know information are the people that know information. And I want to say this right here. This boy has been in danger for 5 days, and law enforcement has done squat to make this a news case. Okay, and it's dawned on me that this is the fourth or fifth child case that law enforcement failed to bring to the public in a proper time frame. And I'm starting to believe that they're doing it to keep attention away from cases that need attention on them. And if I find out any law enforcement officer is putting somebody in danger by failing to disclose who they are or that they are missing in an effort not to get attention on it, not to get attention on the case, for the sole purpose of not being aggravated by leads in the case, I will tell you that that is going to be a huge problem for me. And I'm seeing an uptick of kids going missing, and it's taking days, if not weeks, for the public to find out. Now I don't know about you, and I'm getting really sick and tired of educating law enforcement, which should be smarter than the rest of us, on the fact that it seconds and minutes matter when a child goes missing. No matter what details that you think you know about these cases, and law enforcement is well aware of this, so for me to have to say this and remind anybody this is problematic for me. But at the end of the day, seconds and minutes matter in cases like this. And just because a child walks away from home does not mean that they don't meet foul play later down the road. And every single minute and second matters, and we're finding out this child has been missing for 5 days before any content creator can blow this case up and get some national attention on this. And just because law enforcement believes that this kid is alive doesn't mean this kid is alive, and doesn't mean that their lackadaisy approach to this case didn't just cost this kid his life. I just want to put that out there. We have no Amber Alert on this kid. We've got no nothing. And then when you look at the details of this kid, while I do appreciate they did give us a press conference, in all fairness, I did, I will tell you it angers me that there was no signage behind him of this missing boy. That to me is poor. It's piss poor. I don't care how broke a county is, you've got $50 to print a large photo of a child that's missing in your community, and I recommend everybody do that. It just shows respect. Okay? It just shows respect, and it shows that you are willing to invest your money in a case with a missing child. Especially when you are so concerned because this child has been missing for 5 days. You know, at the time you decide to have a press conference and actually bring some real attention to the matter, this child, according to statistics, if found by a third party, would most likely be deceased. And moreover, this is in Oklahoma. Didn't we just have some cold snaps out there? This child is out there. Doesn't sound like he was out there in a big old thick jacket. This child could have went out in the woods and thought that he would be okay out in the woods, fallen asleep and froze to death. We had one of those cases. Remember the boy in the tree that Chronicles of Olivia covered? He got up in the tree and he fell asleep and he died. He froze to death. He fell out of the tree. Frozen. I just want to put that out there. This is a real thing. And so this boy is out there running around in Oklahoma. Now, only the people in Oklahoma know what kind of condition you guys are in, what kind of temperatures you guys are in, and whether somebody can be out there in the wilderness in this type of condition. I don't know if that's the case. Why not put it up on a billboard? Exactly, a blipboard or something. But it's still, this is not the first case that we've come over the last 6 or 9 months. I have been noticing that some of these people are not putting anything out there in the media at all about these missing kids. And I know exactly why. They're so scared. They'd rather put a child in jeopardy than have to deal with social media. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. And I know that's exactly what's going on here. Because this is like the 5th or 6th case that we didn't get until a week later. They put now we got law enforcement actively putting children in danger. I can't. I don't know who's telling law enforcement to do this across the country, but you are a failure. You do not need to be training law enforcement officers. If any trainer is telling you guys to withhold putting this stuff out in the public for them to help you, and you're letting days go by before you go and for a child? Any trainer that's telling officers to do that is a fool of a trainer. So I don't care what kind of stuff you guys got going on behind the scenes, because I know you guys communicate, all law enforcement, counties and stuff like that. You guys have county. I know about it. Okay, we send our sheriff to events all over, that do stuff like they're the Florida Sheriff's Council, and then they have the president that goes and meets the other presidents across the country, and everything trickles down. So most law enforcement are dealing with their staff the same way. Some people don't play nice, but at the end of the day, all these sheriffs are still, we have police benevolent services all over this country. We have, different unions for law enforcement, all kinds of stuff. So somebody's telling, because I've started seeing this, I've started noticing this, and I can't remember which case I noticed it on first, but I'm like, why are we just hearing about this now? Why are we just hearing about this now? Why are we just hearing about this now? And then when you go and look before, there's not hardly any type of news on the child. This is a 12-year-old child that clearly has been abused and SA'd and is missing. Now, if he ran away from home and his stepdad found out that he told somebody about what was going on and his stepdad found him, could his stepdad have unalived him and hid him? Yes, he could have. Yes, he could have. And here we are playing patty cake with the local law enforcement, and what the heck? So we're going to say it like this. If you guys are out in this community, if you are part of Cato County or Grady County, this child could be in that county. Apparently, those counties where this area is are fairly close to one another. So let me go ahead and pull this up for you guys so you guys can get an idea, a lay of the land. So this is where I presume his home is, right here. And this is and the reason why I figured it had to be this home and not another one on the list is because this one is actively, the ownership is actively still in George's name. So George purchased the home. He is the owner of the home. And it looks like this boy left the home and walked to the local hotel. It's the hotel. Why is a boy at a hotel? Why is a 12-year-old boy at a hotel? Oh, let me get my face out of the way so you guys can see it. Sorry about that. Where's my show screen? There it is. I got a problem. It looks like the closest hotel to their house. CPS, DHS needs reformed. Absolutely. Absolutely they do. Because every single time we come across these cases, we know that the Department of Children and Family Services were already involved. They were already involved. And they failed to act. And a child's now missing. Now, I feel hopeful because we keep hearing law enforcement positively say that they believe this child is alive. Now, that gives me hope, but what doesn't give me hope is the fact I don't know if this child left on his own from his home. They're saying he's missing. They're saying that he was last seen at a hotel, and they're charged the parents with SA type charges. Okay, I'm trying to put this puzzle piece together, and unfortunately, these puzzle pieces are telling me something very, very strange. Okay, for example, good gracious, give me a second. There we go. And so what it's telling me is that a child is missing, last seen at a hotel, right? Last seen at a hotel, and mommy and stepdaddy have SA charges right now. I don't know where your brain goes with those being the facts of the matter of this case, but to me it sounds like there was an exchange of a monetary exchange and a drop-off point. I don't know if that should be the way I'm looking at this case, but when you're listening to the facts of this case, what are we hearing? They don't believe this child is dead, right? Their parents have been charged with abuse and SA abuse, which we know what SA is, right? And he's lingering around a hotel that was last seen. They reported last seeing him at the hotel on the 2nd at 11:30 at night, right? But they updated that a day or so later and said that they did spot him again at that same hotel at 1:30 in the morning, or 1 o'clock in the morning. I think it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Hold on, let me look this up. What's his name? Ryan. And all it's doing is giving me groups. Okay, I don't want groups. I just want just a search. Let me just search. See what we get here. Because I wanted to bring you guys up to what I saw from so there's 13 hours ago. We had the Aware. The Aware had the because this one right here still says last seen on the 2nd at 11:20 p.m. But that was updated by by the Aware Foundation, which the Aware Foundation works heavily with the National Center with Missing and Exploited Children. And they're not going to be putting out any information that was not confirmed by law enforcement. So law enforcement has changed the statement when it comes to Riker Davis. Listen to me. Ryan Davis. Wow, they just never stop, do they? Okay, let me see if I can search their channel for Ryan Davis since he's not at the top. Is there any place to search? No search box. There it is. Okay. There it is. It's this one right here. So right here, this one has it too. Well, damn it. I saw it where it was changed. I swear I saw a statement where they changed the details of when he was last seen, and he was last seen, and everything here is saying January 2nd. But I'm telling you, I saw it. I went back and looked at the Aware statement, and it was without a doubt changed to 1 p.m. on the 3rd. He was seen at 1 p.m., 1 a.m. on the 3rd. I'm going to have to pull my piece of paper back up here because that's where all of this is at. Let me throw this up here so you guys can see the work that I've done here. All right, so let's put this up here. There it is, 1 a.m. Saturday, January 3rd. See, I have a problem with that. He left on a Friday at 11:30 at night. He was seen at a hotel on a Friday at 11:30 at night, guys. I'm telling you, I'm not liking this. I'm not liking this at all, you know. It seems like his parents made a deal. I don't know how you look at this. I mean, to me, it sounds like the parents made a deal, does it not? Am I reading this wrong? I'm calling today. Before you go, please pray, show the flyer one more time. Actually, it should be on the one here. There it is. I've got it up. There's the Aware flyer. I'm going to say, wait a minute. I saw it on a flyer. I saved the flyer. Here's the flyer. Here's the Aware flyer right there on the screen. As you see right there, it says in bold, Saturday, January 3rd at the Quality Inn near South 4th Street and East Grand Avenue in Chickasaw, Oklahoma. And this was the last time he was seen at 1 a.m. in the early morning hours of Saturday, January 3rd. So I'm thinking these people, that somebody left with him. I mean, they're saying he's on foot or potentially on foot. I don't know that to be true. What the hell is he doing at a hotel room? Nobody's going to give a 12-year-old boy a hotel. So why is he around there? And he's not just around there one day. He's around there on Friday evening at 11:30. And then he's there, he's observed in the same area over 24 hours later. What was that, 26 hours later at 1 a.m. on the 3rd in the same area? 24 hours? I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I mean, I understand why they're saying, wait, we need to be very concerned here. I have a funny feeling that the parents called and reported their son missing because he never returned back, or when they went to go get him, he was gone. I don't know. I could be wildly speculating. It could have been George Cole that did all this to him, right? That did all this to him, and it has nothing to do. He just happened to run up to the Quality Inn because there might be some places that he knows where he can sneak and sleep. We don't know. I mean, it may be like a whole little situation like Layla Santinello kind of, sort of, that where she ran out into the woods and was sleeping out in the woods by the hotel, right? It could be something like that. No, well, you guys can say that in the chat. I can't on here. We call it HT or ST, and the parents have been charged with SA. So we don't know how extensive that S abuse was, but they need to check I'm pretty sure they have checked all the cameras. The police are so bad in Reidsville, North Carolina. They don't collect no evidence in murder cases. So many are, North Carolina is going to have some changes, Tammy, because of Irina's law. They don't really have much choices in the matter, but unfortunately, North Carolina is a DEI state. You guys, if you guys are in North Carolina, it's time to move. Okay. They're letting dangerous people out on your streets and dumping them out on your streets in North Carolina. It got so bad, their own legislature had to put a rule in there because of their corrupted judges, to take the power away from the corrupted judges. Sasha says, okay, the 3rd of January at 1 a.m., what hotel? It was Quality Inn. Here's the hotel. It's the Quality Inn on Grand and 4th. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Even everything shut down on me. So even my, here we go. Let me see where we are on here. So there you go. There's the house. There's the Quality Inn. So it's the Quality Inn on South 4th Street. So, I mean, you can see it is a distance. It takes, if you were to walk this area, it's telling me that it's going to take over an hour to walk from that home to get in this area. So, and also when I was watching the press conference, which I did, let me see if I can find that press conference. That press conference was good, and I don't have it up here for some reason. I do have his paper up here, so let me see if I can get, here it is, the press conference right here. See if we can get this pulled up. Okay. All right, so here we go. Let me see if I can get the, I have recorded this, but every time I seem to upload a recording from my computer, it just doesn't have sound. I don't know what's going on with it, but apparently it just did not click sound, so I'm probably going to have to go back and check those and then re-record them and make sure that the sound is on. But until then, here's what we've got. Publications. I hate them. I hate publications. I hate publications. I don't even know what this is from. This is why I hate publications. Look at this. This is the shit that people don't want to deal with when they come to read a something, right? They don't want to deal with this. And look what we all already had to go through just to try to listen to something.
Public Information Manager with the OSBI. I have the Chief of Police with the Chickasha Police Department, as well as the Assistant Chief, too. As we've been working on this in a collaborative effort to locate this 12-year-old boy. What I can tell you is the latest we have is that we are still searching for him at this time. He has not been found. We are still receiving several tips. We are still following up on those tips, but the boy has not been found. We do believe that he is still alive at this time, and so we're doing everything we can to locate him. The other update we have, since we had last spoke yesterday, is that as this investigation continued, the OSBI made contact with the 12-year-old boy's parents, that is his biological mother and his stepfather. During the conversation with them, it was learned that there was apparent harm done to this child while he was living with these two parents. Based on everything that we were able to gather, based on search warrants that we conducted, and that's multi-jurisdictional agencies that were involved in those, we came to the conclusion that both parents were arrested on child abuse complaints. Multiple child abuse complaints as we move forward with this investigation. And so those two parents, as of late last night, were booked into the Caddo County Jail, where they will be at this time. Official charges, of course, will go through the District 6 District Attorney's Office as we move forward with that. What I can say from the OSBI standpoint is when the Chickasha Police Department requested us to look into this case, not only was it important for us to locate this child safely,
Caddo, C-A-D-D-O.
aspect of this case and find out why is this child missing from the very beginning for multiple days, what's going on, and what's going on with his home life, as well as we kind of dig deep and find out a little bit more in.
Yes, that does sound like whatever we're dealing with here, parents have confessed. Parents have confessed to these crimes. Let's go back and listen to that again, just for your knowledge. I don't know how far back it was, but we'll go back just a little bit.
With this investigation. And so those two parents, as of late last night, were booked into the Caddo County Jail, where they will be at this time. Official charges, of course, will go through the District 6 District Attorney's Office as we move forward with that. What I can say from the OSBI standpoint is when the Chickasha Police Department requested us to look into this case, not only was it important for us to locate this child safely, but we also needed to look into the entire aspect of this case and find out why is this child missing from the very beginning for multiple days, what's going on, and what's...
So I think what had happened is something must have triggered something, right? Something must have triggered something. It sounds like the way I'm putting this together, and I may be totally off base with this, so don't hold my feet to the fire to this at all. But to me, it seems like they... it sounds like they had a child reported missing. They must have did what Chris and Katie thought would happen, right? And that would be that they got a piece of paper from the sheriff. Nothing major. He walked off. He ran away from home. This is not the first time he did it. Law enforcement handed him a pack of paper instead of bringing out the cavalry, like they did with Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Well, a few days later, it sounds like maybe somebody had followed up. Maybe they didn't take this so seriously. And then when the child never ran back home, it sounds like Chickasaw Police Department reached out to Oklahoma State Police and said, hey, can you look into this or help locate this child? We're having a hard time locating and putting our eyes on this child. He ran away from home. So now they got in. They're now looking. One of the first things that you look at when you have a missing child child is who is around that child. And you start doing a victimology and start working on the criminology aspect of it. You start looking at maybe you're going to look at the people nearest and dearest to this child, whether they're a third party or a parent, right? You're going to be looking at the neighbors. You're going to be looking at mommy and daddy. You're going to be looking at aunts and uncles. You're going to be looking at anybody that's in and around, that's in an arm's length of this child. That's who you're going to be looking at. And you're going to slowly but surely start eliminating, the possibilities of people that could have done something to this person. And so I think the first thing that they decided to start doing would be the obvious part, looking at mommy and daddy. And when they started, issuing warrants and getting subpoenas and ordering phone records, which is, standard operating procedures like the phone records. The phone records are the lowest, threshold to get from a subpoena. You most likely will always have probable cause to at least get a phone record, right? In a situation like this. So I think those phone records must have hit pay dirt because you've got the phone calls, you've got the text messages, and you've got the other things that they don't tell us that they know that they can get behind the scenes, right? They've got your steps, they've got your movements, they've got a lot of stuff that comes from a lot of the different programs and plans and different sources and resources they have to pull data from. And so I think at that point they started seeing something very concerning in the phone logs and probably explored that a little bit more and questioned them about that, brought them in and had senior interrogators or investigators speaking with them to find out what happened to this child. But no matter how you look at it, it sounds like there were confessions rendered in this case. So the idea that this child is, and I think that that's the cooperation, they've arrested these parents because they know what happened. But they still believe that this child's alive because they believe this child ran away from whatever's happening behind closed doors. But what if the parents are, admitting to this, knowing damn good and well that they ultimately took this boy out to keep their secret? We have to look at that angle. But it makes me feel good that law enforcement is overly confident that he's alive, which let's pray he is. But it still comes down to, you cannot tell me that there are not adults around there. If he's alive and he's walking around this area, why aren't people asking questions? Why aren't people saying, hey, I've seen you here 2 or 3 days. Are you okay? Why isn't anybody calling this boy in, to the law enforcement or helping him or, doing something like that? It makes me feel like there's more creeps in the area. You know what I'm saying? It just makes me feel like this boy is around more creeps in this area. I'm going to be side-eyeing everybody. Wherever this county is, you guys need to be looking at your neighbors because there's some funny business going on. If you see something, you need to say something, because if this is going on with this boy behind closed doors, how many other kids in your community is this happening to? You guys got to start asking questions, please. We know how this stuff happens. It happens because people keep quiet. It happens because people isolate. That's how these things happen. Oh, sorry, guys. You guys can't even hear it. I'm listening to it, but you guys probably aren't. Sorry.
Scene was that
So
January
sorry.
2nd here in Chickasha.
I'm sitting here watching it on my end and didn't even realize that you guys couldn't see it. You guys are just watching me staring at the screen. Could you guys at least hear them? I'm sorry. Guys, I've had a really bad, my morning started out just like the other day. My morning started out well, and I did so much research that I heated up my computer too hot. And that's, I think, what caused all these problems this morning and me shutting down. Because when I do a lot of research on this computer for hours and hours before I do my live, that's when I come here and the whole system just screws up. This is the second time it's happened this week. So I know it has to do with the level of working I'm doing. And both of those mornings, I was up at 3:00 in the morning doing research for hours before we went live. And so I think that's what it is. But that's okay. That's okay. Thank mom of 9.5. She sponsored our our encoder. I'm literally going to be purchasing it as soon as I'm off of here. Now, I don't know once it gets here if I'm going to have to purchase some accessory cords and stuff to get it all hooked up. But I mean, that's nothing, right? And I might actually have some of those accessory cords just lying around the house. So we'll see once it gets here what all I need to get it hooked in. But I think I'm going to hook the encoder into and run through the laptop until we can get a desktop. I'm not even going to worry about a desktop for right now. I think that the encoder will alleviate us enough that we might be able to do a little bit more. So it's done. It's done. We were lip reading. Well, I'm glad you guys can hear me now because it looks like we got an excellent stream now that I kicked all the other bull crap out of here. Okay, so I'm happy. I'm happy with this. Who knows? Once I get the encoder working and everything, we might go back to the 2 streams. And then Sonia can roll her eyes at me again and say, please don't do that. Please don't do that. And I'm sorry about that, Sonia, by the way. I was kind of a little frustrated. So anyways.
So we are still encouraging people. Please reach out to us, contact us. If you see where this boy might have been, where he's going, other people that might have been in contact with him up until he went missing, please reach out to us. We will follow up on all those tips. We've had search parties with
other people that he's been in contact with up until he went missing. Guys, they're not saying he walked off. Have we heard this man say that he walked off at all? Maybe we're reading. I'm thinking, I'm so confused about this. What? I'm so confused, and obviously they're withholding this information because it goes to the integrity of the investigation. Okay, this goes to the integrity of the investigation, and where did he leave from? Let's just read. Let me get my paper back because I know I did a lot of research this morning. We'll have to come back here. We're not done with this. Oh, for flip's sake. There we go. We're not done with this video just yet, but I want to get to my piece of paper here. So let me read these details as I captured them this morning. It says core facts. So 12-year-old Ryan R.J. Davis, referred to as Riker or Riker Cole, is missing from Chickasaw, Oklahoma. The law enforcement consider him at risk, and the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, or OSBI, has said that they believe he is still alive, but that time is critical. His biological mother, Kimberly Cole, approximately 33, and stepfather, George Cole, approximately 43, has been arrested on complaints of child abuse, SA, and conspiracy. Now, you're going to hear, we're going to listen to this because he does explain this OSBI officer here. I forgot his name. He does explain this conspiracy, but I think he's giving us word salad. I really think this is what I think this is. I think these parents, their child to someone else. Okay? I think that this is the SA and the conspiracy that they're talking about. I think that there's reasons why he's at a hotel. Okay? And it sounds like it's possible that the person that their son is failing to give that son back. I'm kind of feeling, I just called Betty. I got it on recording. He has nothing's been found. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So he has not been found. That's probably, so common sense, that's probably why Rock Chalk removed that. She probably got some information or was trolled. She's still pretty young on the streets of YouTube. So it's, she would probably be ripe. I'm hearing that there's a lot of hate channels that are starting to reach out to other channels and be nasty and rude and mean and all that other stuff. I'm going to tell you guys, people aren't going to play. They're going to start suing you. I'm advising them to sue you. They're reaching out to me, finding out information. I will tell you that. Lots of people. I've people, like 4 different people have reached out to me. So I'm going to tell you guys need to quit being mean to people that don't want to play your game. It's never going to end well for you. And you guys are going to be broke because people are going to start suing. They're tired of it. Okay. They're over it. They're over it, folks. So hate channels, you guys want the drama? Fight between yourselves. You know, mutual combat. If you guys are mutual about it, that's fine. But don't be bringing people in that want nothing to do with the drama. That's bullcrap. You got enough people that love the drama to pick from. Why go into left field? Like, this is so stupid. Just stop it. Just stop it. All right, Betty, get back on track. Let me. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. I'm still reading this. So, he's at risk. They still believe he's alive. They've arrested the mom and dad and the last one was conspiracy, which again, so the working baseline is, okay, so December 17th, right before Christmas is when RJ was reportedly went missing previously. He was found shortly afterward, according to a post his mother made on social media. So that December 17th area, I believe, is when things got really, really bad for him, either SA-wise or just, you know, abuse, just the physical abuse. And he just couldn't take it no more, and he ran off. Now they found him. So again, it makes me wonder, did they find him again? This time they didn't let him come back home. You see what I'm saying? So Friday, January 2nd, at approximately 11:20 to 11:30 p.m., Chickasaw police say RJ was last seen near the Quality Inn in Chickasaw, Oklahoma, on foot, so he was on foot. This is the first time I've got. Okay, so here it is. He was on foot. So maybe that's if they saw him on foot. There it is, right there. Oh, you guys can't see it. Sorry, guys. I expect you guys to see. There we go. There we go. You see that? Okay, he is on foot. Oops. Let me go back down here. Right there. On foot. So he was on foot, wearing a red and black plaid shirt and dark jeans and a brown steel-toed boots. This has changed to 1 a.m. on January 3rd. So this is over 24 hours later. They still see him, but he was on foot. So that might kill my my theory that his mommy or stepdaddy dropped him off here. I don't like the fact that he's at a hotel before disappearing, you know, because Layla Santanello was at a hotel before she disappeared. He's just a tiny little thing too. Oh, it's breaking my heart. This is just breaking my heart, folks. So he's just a tiny little thing. They've got him, what was it? 5'11". Where is it? Just saw it on here. 5'11", 85 pounds. He's 80. He's not even a full 100 pounds. He's got brown hair, brown eyes. January 2nd through the 7th, multiple days had passed with no confirmed sightings despite ground search, drones, dogs, and public tips, all of which are reported as false so far, so they haven't found him. As of Wednesday night, January 7th into the 8th, his mother, Kimberly, and stepfather are arrested on multiple complaints, including the child abuse, essay, and conspiracy. I don't like the conspiracy. His mama knew what was going on with him and did nothing. What a piece of shit. Around January 7th to the 9th, OSBI stresses they have no reason to believe he's dead and are treating this as a search and rescue. I don't like the way that says it. I just don't. I mean, if you saw a kid, let me just ask the public here, okay? I gotta ask you guys this, okay? If you guys saw a kid walking down the road at 11:30, and a 12-year-old child at that time of night, are you telling me that there's not a single human being out there that would not stop that child or hold that child until law enforcement got there, like knowing that that child should not be out at that time of morning or night? I mean, what is going on in this community where a child cannot walk around without people calling something in and saying, hey, we've got a young boy out here in the middle of the night walking alone. Can somebody come check it out? I don't know if he's a runaway or if he needs help. You're telling me not one person? I don't like this. I don't like this. So let's go over here. Let's look where he might be. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Give me just a second. We're still in here for let's finish up the let's finish this up before we go to the map.
Agencies yesterday, all through tonight, today, as we move forward with this process. And so, again, these arrests are just one step, but the ultimate goal will not change. We need to locate this child safely and bring him home as quickly as we possibly can. I'll field some more questions, but I'm going to have Chief say a few words too.
Sorry, I hit my mic.
Say real quick to everybody,
Now, this is the chief. He absolutely believes that this child is alive. He absolutely believes and he wants this child to know. So if Ryan, RJ, Riker, whatever you wanted your name to be, I don't think you want it to be Riker Cole. I can't imagine you wanting it to be Riker Cole. So we're going to call you Ryan or RJ. If you are seeing this, one thing that we are learning from the Bullhorn Betty channel is that you will never have to see your stepfather again. You will never have to go back to live with your mom or stepdad. Or you never have to worry about being hurt or touched ever again inappropriately. The sheriff's department and the police department out there are working their butt off to bring you home. If you are out there and you see this, please reach out to law enforcement. They want to help you. They want to make sure that you are okay, and they want to make sure you never have to sleep another night in abuse again or in an abusive home. So the people that are out in this community, please keep your eyes peeled. This is going to be my biggest concern. If that child was in fact in those woods and we've had, pretty cold nights, my concern is he lost his life because of the cold. That's my biggest concern. He hasn't been seen since the 3rd. He was obviously seen the 2nd. He was obviously seen the 3rd. He was obviously seen moving about at night. He was able to make it from one side of the town to the other side of the town where he was kind of hanging out. I never want to think that a 12-year-old has a substance abuse problem, but sometimes that's how parents control their kids when they're doing these types of things to them. So, when I was out there, I know kids that were in the street, very, very young, doing things that they should never have been doing. And it's very sad to see, and it's a direct result of what's they're witnessing in their home. So I don't think that would be an issue, especially him running away. But you do have to, unfortunately, consider it in the back of your mind if he has a substance abuse problem, if he's going to get, dealing with those types of adult types of issues. I'm going to venture to say that that's not the case here, but we don't know, and we always have to keep our eyes and ears peeled.
we appreciate so much the efforts. As Hunter said, this has been a multi-jurisdictional effort. So between Chickasha Police, OSBI, Grady County, I believe Caddo County, OHP, and others, this has been quite an effort. Culminated last night with the 2 arrests that Hunter made mention of. The important thing is already this morning we're following up on at least 2 other tips as we speak. Here's what I need from everybody listening. This child will not be going back to that home. All we want to do is lay eyes on this child, get him the medical care that he needs, and assure him physically and emotionally he will not be returning back to that environment.
I think they believe somebody's helping him. I think they believe somebody knows the situation and is helping them. And that's why they're making a plea that they don't want, this child's not going back to that home. We're locking the parents up. We're showing you're not going to go back. I think they believe somebody's helping him. I believe there might be somebody helping him. If somebody knew this family and knew what this poor boy was going through, there might be people helping him. This is a country environment, it seems, outside of this general area. Let me pull this up. To show you. So as you can see, here's you see how desolate it is. It's almost like Hendersonville in part, right? Where you have kind of this collective city area, but it's still very rural. You see that? Look at all this land. It's still very rural. So you have land on all sides of here, right? And then you just got this small little town right in the middle of all this land. So it is a desolate area. I don't know how many people are in this, and you can see Grady Memorial Hospital here. So it sounds like this is right on the border of Grady, because I heard their house was in Grady County, but this is in, if I'm not mistaken, in Cato County or Caddo County. But it might just be the opposite. This might actually be Grady, and this might actually be Cato. So I'm unfamiliar with the county lines here, but there's two counties, one situated in one county and one situated in another. If somebody wants to clarify, you guys couldn't see that. If somebody wants to clarify that for me, please do. You can send that to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. So that's kind of your update on this young little boy. I'm sorry for taking so much time. We were just going to go through some of the case, and it kind of took on a life of its own, and why we're so far now and still haven't even gotten to the case that was on the thumbnail, which is Spencer and Monique Tepe. Oh, I just realized I need to change. I forgot to put their name on this. Why did I not put their name on this? Seems pretty stupid. No, I don't want that. How do I change the stuff on here? I just realized I did not, maybe it's over here. I don't know how to do these groups. I hate when I mess up stuff. I don't know how to change the name of the group. Manage notifications, leave group, no. Group status, your content, no. Manage notifications, no. Does anybody know how to change the frickin' group settings? Maybe? Name and description. There we go. Sorry, forgot to put Tepe. Okay, I think I got it. There we go. All right. So anyways, it is this group. This is the new group we have just set up for Spencer Monique Tepe discussion group. If you guys are interested in it, let me go ahead and drop it down here. There you go. But that's for the Tepe Facebook group. And again, just another group where we just decide to, good gracious. Where we just decide to open a collection bin, because there's so much information moving. People may have different information. I find when I am doing these cases, having these groups, having you guys posting into these groups absolutely make a big difference. Hey, Brown Chicken, it's nice to see you, love. Absolutely fix and help us derive leads and information and other things. We don't have anybody posting in here just yet. There are other groups, so if you guys are on other groups and stuff like that and you would like to share, please consider sharing. Again, we have two new groups set up. One for the young boy, Ryan Davis, and we have the new one set up for Spencer and Monique Tepe case discussion. So Spencer Monique case discussion is one, and then the mysterious disappearance of Ryan RJ Davis. So hopefully you guys go over there, support them, drop some information in. That's where I'll be looking to garner some talking points on both of these cases. Both of these cases are what happened, who did it. We know the ending to Spencer and Monique Tepe. They lost their life. Somebody came into their home. And guys, I think we might have some realization on what could have happened in this home. Now, I don't know if it is truly related to the noise that was observed at their house. So if you guys don't know this story, these right here, they've been married for about 5 years. They were married on January 30th, 2021. They have 2 children, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. The 4-year-old's a little girl. The 1-year-old's a little boy. From everything that we can see is that they were happily married. They moved into a not refurbished. It's a brand new home, but it's in a revitalized community. It was a community that was once ran down, riddled with drugs and crime, and some investors went in there, bought up property, started tearing down the old properties and building nice structures. We saw their house. Their house was gorgeous, very modern, very blocky, it looked very, very nice and well kept. They have a beautiful privacy fence and a detached garage in the back that kind of led to an alleyway. For all intents purposes, it seemed like a very lively and safe community for a growing family. With that said, there was a person observed walking in the alley behind their home around the time that law enforcement believes they were killed. There are several things that we've learned. One, we've learned about a 911 call going to their house. A very distraught woman had called. Many people believed it was Monique and believed there may have been some, potential problems behind the scenes. But we learned very quickly that that's not the case. It was not Monique that called, but it was a friend. It was a friend, and if I'm not mistaken, I could have thought that they may even have went as far as to say a friend or coworker, like this friend was a coworker type friend. And this is going to be important because of something that I read online. It may be nothing. Sorry for hitting my microphone. Let me back it up just a little bit. It may be nothing, right? It may be just a coinky-dink, but this woman that called from their home was calling because of her husband, about an argument between her and her significant other. Again, it wasn't Monique and it wasn't Spencer. This wasn't their fight. This was a friend of theirs or a coworker of theirs or something to that effect that was at their house where this altercation had happened at like 2:00 in the morning. And law enforcement, I don't know if law enforcement actually went out there, if they talked to anybody. We're getting all of this second nature, but we do know for a fact that there was a call at that 2:00 in the morning. And this happened a little while ago, okay? But days before they were murdered, there was a neighbor reports somebody beating on their door. Banging on their door, just banging to the point that they went ahead and called law enforcement. So we've got this aggressive beating on their door. And then you go back to the month before, what problems were they having? They were having a woman, a friend of theirs, concerned about spousal abuse or domestic violence. So we know that domestic violence, especially when people are leaving, is sometimes the most dangerous time. What if they were the catalyst for this abused woman leaving her husband and that husband blamed them? And just days before, the husband was beating on their door wanting to know where his wife was. Obviously, the wife's not staying there. At least we don't think so. Maybe he thought she was because that's where he found her. Maybe that was the altercation. She left her husband, went to their house, and he came over there raising holy hell. She calls law enforcement, and they're like, "Look, no offense, but we got kids. We can't have this around our kids. We're really sorry. You're gonna have to find somebody else to take you in." There might have been something like that happened, And she may have left her husband, and the husband thought they were hiding her, or he couldn't find her and decided to go over there and teach them a lesson. I mean, we really don't know what transpired, but it sounded like he was the target. The man was the target because he's the one that has more bullet wounds in him than the woman. But at the end of the day, something was not right here. Okay? You have some very specific issues going on here in fairly close action. So it sounds like weeks ago or even a month or so ago, they had this 911 call. Does anybody know what date that 911 call came in? Let me see if we can find out. No forced entry, offender likely knew or allowed in. Yes and no. I'm still, no forced entry to me means that there was no broken window and no kicked in door. It doesn't necessarily mean that the person was known to them, because theoretically, they could have left a back door, a basement door, or a window open. That still wouldn't have been forced entry. It would have been entry into the home, but no forced entry. So I think we need to be careful with that, because I do believe, this is somebody that they know. I think this is ultra personal. That's just my personal belief. But as we're building this case, I don't want to get too far ahead. Yes, it could imply that this person knows each other, that these people know each other very closely, if they either have a key to the house or, knew their combination to get into the house. That would be problematic. They have a dog. That dog, from everything I'm learning, nobody heard the dog aggressively barking. We learned that the law enforcement went to the wrong house when they were called to go by the house the first time, right? When the dispatch people were so nasty and disgusting, like they need training. 11 days before murder. Okay, Rita Cap says 11 days before murder. So we have this altercation where a phone call, that's very close. That's cause and effect right there. I really think that's something that this whole call from this person, I think it was because this feels like a matter of the heart. This we kind of identified that because we were talking about money, and had he been in this business, had he been a partner to this business or something like that, then I would be like, you know what, maybe this could be business related. Maybe his business partner no longer wanted to split the profits with him, and wouldn't be the first time. But when we found out he was just an employee, well, that changes things quite a bit. He has no major ownership. There's no major corporate squabble there. So now we got to look at what's going on with them. They're brand new. They're newly married. They're still in the love phase. I mean, they're only 5 years in. I mean, they may have a few problems, but far from having real world problems. It was April. The 911 call was made. Okay, April. And so they lost their life December. So April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. That was 8 months. So if the 911 call was made back in April, thanks Brown Chicken, by the way. If it was April 911 call that was made, that may not be such a cause and effect. 11 days, yeah, I would say more in line with that. But if it was back in April when the 911 was made, then that may not be. But there was somebody beating on their door days before. Now, I did hear through rumor, and this kind of comes back, and I know we had somebody in here the other day, the ex-husband turned woman, number one, is talking about. So the ex-husband that turned into a woman. Oh, well, I heard that was the wrong. I was watching Plunder last night, and they said that everybody's been picking up on this man that turned into a woman, but she said that's still the wrong person. And she's got stuff. Let me pull Plunder up. I think it was on Facebook, Plunder Studio. Hold on. We'll go back to that. I can go back. So here it is. This is what I was reading, and she did attach. Can you guys see that on this end? Oh, good, you guys can. And she did attach some exhibits as well. So let's go through here so we can read all this about this. So according to Plunder, she says Monique Tepe's 7-month marriage. This was a very quick marriage. So if you guys are curious, yes, the gal Monique was married before she was a McKee, before she was a Tepe. So this was really odd. In all fairness, Brown Chicken, Michael McKee is the ex-husband. That's correct. That's right. And you know what is funny, unless I misread this, but what is funny is that this whole 7-month thing and how quickly they did this, it does feel very like he had a change, because from everything I can gather is this Michael guy, she was with since 2012. So for them to be married in, back in this area, what was it, 2017 or something like that? It seems like she was with him going through his medical stuff. And you know how that happens. You have a woman that gives up herself and everything, and then the guy gets his stuff, and then the thing is once you get done with your college, we're going to get married and live this fancy life, and then they're like, oh, but I got my degree, and now I want I want a younger bimbo, so I'm sorry, I can't marry you, honey, but thanks for supporting me for my entire medical license. I always think about stuff like that because I've actually seen it happen more times than not. So I was starting to feel like that way. And then, hearing that there was a potential of the ex-husband, kind of going the other way, that really does support something like a 7-month marriage. We all know that. But according to Plunder, it sounds like that's not the case, unless I read this wrong last night. So it says, sometimes wedding looks so lovely on social media like this one so they were married in 2015. So that was 3 years after the first photo I found of them. So August 2015, with people wishing the beautiful bride and groom the best, Miss Monique McKee. A wonderful wedding, such a beautiful wedding, wrote one person. Another exclaimed, congratulations to Dr. and Mrs. McKee, wishing you many years to love and happiness. But oftentimes we see on Facebook or YouTube differs wildly from the truth that court documents can reveal, if only we took the time to delve deep. If the gorgeous bride looks familiar to you, there's a good reason. She was a Tepe. Before she was a Tepe, she was a McKee. In the short time since the horrific deaths, Dr. Spencer Tepe and his wife Monique in Columbus, Ohio, a lot of misinformation has been spread about Monique's ex-husband. His name is all over social media with misinformation. Everyone is searching for Monique's ex, and his name is all over the place, but unfortunately there are a lot of men named Michael D. McKee from Ohio. Some have mixed up Michael David McKee with plenty of other men ascribing crimes or actions to the real Dr. McKee that the court record doesn't reflect. By verifying the birth date of the correct Mike McKee, I was able to determine he is not the man with the long criminal record, nor the man who married another man shortly after his divorce from Monique. So they're saying that this is not true. So the man getting married to the other man is not the same Michael McKee that married Monique. Okay. And this is according to Plunder, which does amazing research. Okay. I will tell you, I come to rely on Plunder more times than not. So when she puts something out, I can almost bet my lunch money that it's going to be more accurate than not. I just love, yeah, she's beautiful. You're exactly right. She's beautiful. She's smart, and she does her work. And now, she's a Christian lady. She's one of the sweetest people that, I mean, I've never met her, but you can just see, I don't know. You can just see kindness, I really do. I believe you can see kindness of one another. So, hold on just a second. But this kind of misinformation can ruin a person's career and life. So in an effort to clear up confusion or to stop the slander, I've received some court official documents via public record request. So she does kind of break it down here, and I want to show you guys some of the documents that she has put up. So obviously, here she is on her big day in her white dress. There she is with her doctor husband. Now, this is doctor husband number 1. She obviously married doctor husband number 2. This is an orthopedic surgeon. The doctor husband that she married ended up being a dentist. So here he is, Dr. Michael David McKee, orthopedic surgeon, and then his profession is surgeon. You can see that there has been a spike of trying to find who he is. And there is a couple other things here. I'm not sure what this all means. I'm sure it'll break down for me when we finish reading the information up there. And then here's the records from the Common Pleas of Franklin County, Ohio Clerk of Courts. And this is showing you her full name and her husband's name. So we did find that out about him, and we know what he looks like. So I have to believe that she has the right information on the right person. And so that is exactly why I'm saying that this guy, I don't think, married another man. I think that was another Michael David McKee. But I did see some people saying that, and I had just read this last night. So when I heard that, I was able to properly answer you. In all fairness, Army vet, was it Army vet or who was it that made that? I don't think it was Army vet. I thought it was Brown Chicken. Either way, Army vet or Brown Chicken. If you guys wrote that, I think it was Brown Chicken. And when you made that post, I had just read this last night, so I was uppity up on this particular topic. But at the end of the day, it was extremely short marriage, even though Monique and Michael can be seen on social media posts going back as far as 2012. Their marriage was very brief. So they were together 3 years, got married, and then divorced in less than a year. So something majorly happened. And that is indicative of finding out that your lover is swinging the other way. It happens. Trust me, it happens. It happens more than you'd like to understand. It does happen. People get with somebody and they think that and they just don't have those feelings. And it takes them getting married to find out they're really unhappy that they're not like this. And it has happened. This is not the first time I heard of a man leaving his wife and going to marry his boyfriend or significant other, partner, or whatever. It's not the first time. So, but it doesn't sound like he's the one that did it. So you know what that leads me to believe? An affair, an ongoing affair. Somebody found out about an affair, whether it was her or him. Somebody fell out. And I kind of think it was him that had the affair. And the reason why I think it was him, and I could be wrong, it may not even be an affair, and it might have been her, right? It might have been the victim. Look at Bruce Jenner. Pebbles, she used a private judge for the divorce too. Yeah, they didn't want it public at all. No. And come to find out, she paid for her wedding ring and her engagement ring. That's a problem. Like a woman that's paying for her own rings. It sounded like he was kind of giving her the boot, and it sounded like she wanted the marriage more than he did. Or it could be just the opposite. Maybe he pushed her into it. But if he pushed her into it, I would have thought that he would have bought the rings. But to hear that she purchased her own wedding band and her own engagement ring, what? That doesn't sound like love to me. I don't know. It just doesn't sound like love to me. It just doesn't. So that's kind of where they are with that. But that was really odd. But I don't think that the one that married, I think it was a different person. I really do. But we'll keep diving into that aspect. But that's just my thought on it. Let's see, where were you? Parents of Oklahoma teen. Oh, wow. Well, where the heck was I just at? I guess oh, that's right. I need to go back. That's right. Sorry. Where did I go? What am I doing here? Okay, so we've got this going on. They're here. We're going to be dropping a bunch of stuff in here for them. And we got a total of 6 members so far to our new group. So I appreciate you guys all doing that. Again, we'll come back here later. Maybe it won't be so hectic now. I got some of this craziness settled behind the scenes. I'm so stressed out over this computer, and I just know my computer's on its last legs because it's doing so much stuff that it never did before, and it's really starting to get annoying for me. And I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop and this computer not even turn on again. It's getting that bad. So today was super, super stressful for me, as many times when the show does not act appropriately. And so I'm very, very sorry for some of my conduct when I came back here, probably inappropriate, but when I'm just at my wit's end, I'm just at my wit's end. This morning, I got a call that I did not want to get this morning from my best friend. Something had happened, and then everything was still going well, and then boom, the show once again just came crashing down, and it was just extremely, extremely overwhelming for me. So again, I apologize for my behavior this morning. I'm glad we were able to pull it together. It still wasn't a very good or quality show. I'm glad that this was the last vertical chat. I'm taking Atrium off this computer. I've had nothing but problems since I've installed Atrium on here. And so once I get Atrium plug off of here, I'm hoping that I might even... To be honest with you, I might delete OBS and reinstall it and just build my account from the ground up and hopefully resolve some of these buffering issues behind the scene. I just think the system itself is getting gunked up, and it is an open source system. But I'm not going back to StreamYard. We just had a sponsor to sponsor our encoder, and so I'm going to run an encoder. And basically what it does is my computer has all the stuff to encode. But the encoding is such a straining process on a laptop, having any computer, that taking that process off the laptop actually frees up the laptop to run properly. So once I get it, I'm going to go ahead and get the Blackmagic. If you guys look on there, the Blackmagic 4K encoder, you'll find out just how expensive they are. Okay, so we were sponsored again. Tom says you're fired. Tom, you're not allowed to tell me that. Only Trump's allowed to tell me that, okay? I'm just saying.
You are fake news.
That was perfect. I don't like you, Tom. I don't like you.
Honestly, it's fake news. It's fake.
You're CNN!
That would be another example of, as you say, fake news. You know why? Fake news. It's all fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't happen. The news is fake. That was false and fake. This fake news was indeed fake news. We don't want fake news. You're CNN. You're fake news. All I can say is it's totally fake news. Just fake. It's fake. It's made up stuff.
Oh, what do we got here? Oh, I think I did. Hold on. You're right. I probably need to go here. My morning was so crazy. I didn't even say hi to you. I didn't even say hi to none of you. Melanie's like, happy Friday, Betty. Yeah, I think I got that message a little late. I'm just saying. Happy Friday, Betty, Delilah Mods, and chat. I hope everyone has a good day. Much love to you, BHB. You're amazing. And don't forget to hit the like button. Happy Friday, all. I hope everyone has a great day. Sending love and prayers to all that need them. Thank you, BHB, for all you do. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you for the love. Yeah, I needed a hug today. I'm telling you. I get so frustrated. You know, I'm getting to the point where this stuff stresses me out that it's just easier for me to roll with video. It used to be easier for me to come here and do a live show with you versus doing a video. And now it's becoming more easy. It's becoming easier for me to come up here and do my videos and not even go live, not even have to set up the live stream, you know. And it's getting to the point where some days I feel like that's going to be the direction of this channel if things. Leilani's in court today asking for a new trial. Oh, good gracious! I probably should have been watching her channel. We should have been in Georgia today. That would have been a good case to come, because I would love to scream at Leilani as she's coming in and calling her a baby unaliver, right? And I wouldn't be using those sweet words. But I definitely have a lot to say to that lady. Lots to say. All right, guys. Well, again, I appreciate all the help that you have provided. I appreciate you guys letting me bend your ear. I'm sorry we had such a crazy, crazy morning. I was absolutely at my wit's end. I'm probably going to be absolutely to my wit's end for the rest of the day. I'll try to get back here and get another show. To be honest with you, I'm pretty much thinking I'm tapping out today. I don't want to be frustrated, okay? I've got a day tomorrow. We'll be back. If something breaks, I might do a live stream. I might not. I think I'm just going to turn this computer completely off and just let it rest and see if I can even turn it back on. So it just needs to rest. It's been running for weeks and days and months and years, and it's just time for it to be shut completely down and just turned off for a little while and just let the hardware just rest. So that's what I'm going to do. And like I said, if I can and I feel like it, I might come back later this afternoon. But I've already, just blew a gasket. I've probably said a little things that I'm probably going to have to apologize to people for here in just a little bit. And so I'm just going to probably have to just take a day. I don't know what else to do. Things just sometimes just don't go my way. I was hopeful for 2026. We had a pretty shitty 2023, pretty shitty 2024, pretty shitty 2025, and God has blessed me with a pretty shitty 2026. So that is where we're going to probably be. So I'm going to just sit down and hold on for 2026 to railroad me again. I don't know what else to say. I'm just in a very pissy, bah-humbug, pessimistic mood. So hopefully maybe tomorrow morning my attitude will change. We'll find out. God bless.